Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories.
Quick info, before we get to the main post, we need to do the prequel that is 3 years before that first post. Now let's get started. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user Just Browsing. Am I the a-hole for not traveling to my home country to get a surgery done? I, 25 female, have been living in Australia for the last 4 years. Last month I fractured my hand and had to get surgery. My parents wanted me to take sick leave and come to India to get it fixed. Their reasoning, it'd be very expensive to get it fixed here, and that it would be easier to have someone take care of me. I understand their concern, but I wanted to be able to fix things where possible. I suggested I'd talk to the doctors and explore my options before I decide to fly to India. After talking to doctors, I realized it was cheaper to stay here and get the surgery as my insurance covered most of it. I didn't want to go to India for various reasons. First, I want to have the chance to try and fix things by myself wherever possible. Second, I had some major changes happening at work and I wanted to be around for that. And lastly, my father has been looking into various marriage proposals for me even though I have made it abundantly clear that I don't want an arranged marriage. I've been planning on telling them about my non-Indian boyfriend and didn't want to be there until I'd done that. Also, I came back from India after a month-long vacation 6 months ago, so it's not like I hadn't seen them in a long time. When I called up my father to tell him that I want to get the surgery done here, he blew up. He screamed at me for 10 minutes saying things like, "You have absolutely zero sense in you. You always assume that you know best. Just because you got a little bit of money, you think you can handle everything yourself. Of course you don't even care if we're dead or alive. You'd rather cut all contact with your family because you prefer this independent life. We don't have any right to take care of our own family members now. Yeah, sure, stay with people there that you call friends because they're above your family to you now. And ultimately, let us know if you even want us in your life anymore." And he blocked me after that. That was 4 weeks ago. I got the surgery done, haven't heard from them at all. I called my mother 3 times and she hasn't picked up. My brother is getting mad at me that I'm not making more of an effort to reach out to them, but honestly, I'm furious too now. They had concerns about me getting my surgery done here, and I got solutions to their concerns. They still insisted I come to India, which just makes me believe that all they care about is control. They wanted me in India to ease my life, but when I decided to get the surgery done here, they did not hesitate to put additional stress on me. Also, it's their anniversary in a couple of days and I might not get a chance to wish them. I'm working hard to be independent and I want to have the best relationship with my parents, but I am just afraid that having that kind of relationship would come with me having a lot less control over my life. Am I the a-hole for not giving that up? Opie's edit. Wow, this blew up. I wasn't expecting this post to reach so many people. Thank you so much everyone for your comments. I really appreciate it. Comments suggesting that they might marry me off when I go back. I don't think they can force me into a marriage, and surely any self-respecting guy wouldn't want to marry someone who doesn't want him. I just knew that there would be a lot of emotional drama, manipulation and whatnot when I refused to look at the potential suitors, and I didn't want to be there in such a vulnerable condition dealing with that. Alright, so as I said, that's the prequel, that's 3 years ago. Now let's jump into the present and start with the main story. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user Just Browsing. I, 28 female, being held hostage at my parents' place, 57 male and 53 female, and I don't know what to do. I, 28 female, Indian, am so exhausted of fighting. I'm writing this on my phone in a very emotional state, so apologies if it isn't well formatted or isn't very well written. 3 years ago, I made a post about how my family stopped talking to me because I didn't travel back to my home country to get my surgery done. Well, things never really got better. I started talking to them maybe a year after my surgery when they reached out, and it wasn't great. All we did was fight, and any cordial conversations were conversations of no value, essentially just limited to how's work going, what did you eat, blah blah blah. Last year, they showed up to Australia out of the blue and I didn't handle that well. My partner and I met them, but suffice to say they weren't very happy. Coming back to today, I came to visit them in India, with my partner staying with us for a week and then 2 weeks without him. They were adamant they only want to spend time with me. I was keen to work on the relationship because I do want to get married and have the option to have potential kids, and I can't really or don't want to do that without them involved in my life. I'm dating an Australian guy, 28 male, who I've been in a relationship with for over 5 years. They made an excuse so we couldn't stay with them together, but they made up with us for lunch the day my partner was leaving. Ever since I've started staying with them, they started talking about how I should extend my trip. I've made it very clear about how I can't, and I've had multiple fights with them over this. One of them, where my dad started talking about how I'm essentially filth, and I live in filth, and he can't believe he's been loving filth this entire time. They've been taking me around out relatives, and it didn't let me leave the day I had my return ticket. I've cried so much talking to them, but apparently the plan always is what they want from me. They've said I'm not allowed to leave anymore because apparently I've become a very negative person and they are worried about me. They have said that the Australian chapter is closed for me and I'm staying here from now on. I'm so scared and I really don't know how to deal with this situation and I'm looking for advice from anyone at all. I want to leave, but I'm worried they're going to stand guard at the door from now on and won't let me walk out. My brother is physically bigger and stronger than me and he isn't on my side either. Well, in my opinion, you've got two choices, but both of them lead the same way. You just need to get out of there. The two options are, one, since you have access to internet because you can make a Reddit post, book a ticket, and then, I don't know, tell them that you're going to go visit somebody or you're going to go to the store or something and just go straight to the airport. The other one is just go straight to the airport. Unless you don't have your documents with you and you need to find those first, then I wouldn't waste any time and I would just go. You need to make a choice right now. Your parents are putting you in an impossible position. They do not want what you want for your life. So unfortunately, you're probably not going to get to have a life with your parents involved and having children with the man you love. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. And now let's check out the community comments. Razmataz Unique 6602 says, pretend like you are running to the corner shop for something, jump in a taxi to the airport and never look back. Just leave everything there. You can always buy new clothes, etc. Take your phone, passport, and purse. I just saw your post from a couple of years ago. This family is terrible and abusive and you need to get as far away from them as possible as quickly as possible. And Opie responds, thank you for commenting. My boyfriend has said the same thing. He said everything is replaceable, but my safety has to be the top priority. I really want to get back to my safe space somehow, which is with my boyfriend in Australia. Intelligent B5929 says, honestly, your safety is all that matters right now. You don't have an Indian cell phone number, which makes it harder to book tickets or Ubers, but you need to get out as soon as possible. Here's what I would do. Ask your boyfriend to book your return flight ticket and email it to you. Pack your passport, any Australian visa documents, wallet with credit cards, and just bare essentials in a purse or small backpack and sneak out in the middle of the night or when nobody's home. Go to a hotel and book a room for the night. Then ask the hotel concierge to print your flight ticket for you and call you a taxi to the airport. Get yourself out. Edit to add, if you have roaming enabled on your Australian phone, just call an Uber straight up to the airport, no need for the hotel part. The sooner you get into the airport, the less time your family has to know you left and look for you. And Opie responds, I can enable roaming and then hopefully make calls. Booking Uber would be fine, but it would be good to have a way to make calls if needed. I honestly don't care about money at this point. I also have an eSIM that only has data, so I can still access internet. And just another main girl says, you are an adult. A quick Google of Indian laws shows that holding you there against your will is a violation of the Indian Penal Code. So call your local law enforcement, explain your situation, and have them escort you out the door and over to the airport. If your birth family is violently opposed to your relationship, there is no way they are ever going to agree to a wedding. So you have no reason to keep them in your life anymore. Go back to Australia where you will be safe from them, and when you're ready, marry your boyfriend in a civil ceremony. Up to you on whether you notify your family after the fact or simply go no contact. I'm sorry, OP, but ultimately you need to do what feels best for your own authentic adult life. Allowing yourself to stay trapped in your birth family's home, until they can marry you off to someone they select does not sound like something you want. Remember, this is the only life you're ever going to get. And Opie responds, "Thank you. I've been too disturbed to think rationally and just wanted to seek advice from other people because calling cops seemed too extreme. But my aunt has threatened to tear my passport or lodge an FIR against me for a made-up reason, so I'll be tangled in court cases and won't be able to leave. I'm just really scared to do this alone here, but I guess I have to." The community is telling OP to get out now, and it seems like that's what's going to happen. So let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Thank you everyone for all your concerns, suggestions, and for giving me hope. I didn't want to update sooner because it struck me very late that there is a small possibility my brother uses Reddit. The chances of him coming across this post were slim, but I didn't want to risk anything. In short, I ended up running away from home. I'm still contemplating if the decision I took was too extreme for the situation, but I think I'll go crazy if I go down that rabbit hole. A couple friends of mine had a friend who I met last month but was hesitant to reach out because he was a fairly recent friend in a town 3 hours away, so my boyfriend and my friends planned my getaway. I was constantly surrounded by my relatives or parents to plan things, but for everyone reading, I am of sound mind and the decision to do this was mine alone. I snuck out the night we came back home from my relatives on the pretext of going for a walk, but I know they'd probably have found out not too long after I left. My friend was waiting in his car close to my place and he drove me to the airport. It was perfect because booking a cab would have had issues with timing. I didn't know when would be a good time to sneak out, so having a friend around gave me the flexibility to sneak out at my own convenience. The priority was getting out of the country as soon as possible without even knowing what the best way was to get to Australia. This was also crazy timing with the Indigo fiasco. Not sure if it helped or hurt our chances. I could only do this because of the immense support from my friends back home who spent a lot of time planning the routes and booking the flights for me so as to not arouse any suspicions from my family and very little time for them to act. I've had messages from my parents and a few calls. All I've done is message them that it was my decision to leave and list a couple points on why, and that I'd be keen to work on the relationship if they can try to come around to my life choices. Thank you everyone again, and especially to people who reached out to make sure I'm doing okay. OP's edit. Thanks to everyone who have been following my story and for all of the support here. I know there has been a lot of backlash in the comments around me wanting to work on the relationship, and I just want to be clear that it doesn't mean I'll be going back to India in the next few years, or even putting myself in a situation where I would be face to face with them by myself, and even they would have to put in significant work to earn back my trust. This would need to happen over the phone, and I'm going to be taking any apology with a grain of salt. And I am not hearing them out on anything other than an apology anytime soon. My partner and I agree that throwing away the relationship that I've had for the past 28 years of my life is a really big step, and now that I've gotten out, they have lost a lot of the power they once had. Now that we have the advantage in the situation, we want to show some level of mercy, and this is just because they can't do anything in this country from a legal perspective. Just to be clear, showing mercy does not mean meeting them. It just means I'm willing to hear them out only over calls. Even if they show up to Australia, as is their right, we're not scared. Last time they dropped in unannounced, they walked around town without knowing where we were for days, and we're more confident in the legal protection we have here. I'll be seeing a therapist soon because since getting back I haven't been sleeping the best. I've been having dreams every night that I'm still trapped and have no way of getting out. This was a big ordeal and I'm not going to pretend that I'll be fine without professional help. We'll be dropping an email to the Indian embassy letting them know that I've left on my own will and any potential complaints coming from India are fabricated. Well, OP, good for you for getting out and for putting up all these boundaries. I understand you wanting to give them a chance to apologize. That is very kind of you and your decision, but it's a good thing that you're protecting yourself. So here's wishing you the best, OP. Thanks so much for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit What Should I Do? And it's by user OKRaz. My brother has been weirdly kind to me for the past few weeks for no reason and won't tell me why. So this probably sounds super normal for some of you who grew up with sweet, affectionate siblings, but that is not me, 17 female, and my brothers, 21 male, dynamic at all. We sort of hated each other, and we were always that pair that just didn't get along. Tons of passive-aggressive comments, side-eye, mild bickering, but never actually physically fighting, just a lot of tensions. But about 3 weeks ago, something flipped, and I mean flipped. Out of nowhere, he started being weirdly kind, way kinder than he has ever been in my entire life. He brings me my favorite snacks and food on his way home. He's bought me little gifts for no reason, like things I mentioned months ago in passing. He leaves work early to pick me up if I need a ride. He hugs me randomly, kisses the top of my head or my forehead when I go out. It sounds sweet, and honestly it is, but it's also low-key freaking me out because it's so out of character for him. I've asked him multiple times why he's acting like this, and he either dodges the question or gives me the most BS vague answer like, just felt like it, or can't I be nice to you? I even asked my parents and some of his friends if they knew anything, and they all said they don't know with this weird knowing smile. Like, they're all in on something but won't tell me. It's starting to make me feel like I'm being set up for the longest prank of all time. I don't know how to react and what I'm supposed to do. Part of me enjoys the attention because it's new, but another part of me feels anxious, like something is going on behind my back. Is this some kind of joke? Am I overthinking? Has anyone had a sibling suddenly switch personalities overnight? Well, OP, the way you tell it, it does sound like he's setting you up, but why would your parents and maybe his friends, but why would your parents be in the setup if they have a knowing smile? So let's go down the rabbit hole of possibilities. 1, something's gonna happen to you. 2, something could be happening to him. 3, he wants something from you. Or 4, he's done some personal thinking and he's understood that, your relationship could be better and is trying to do something about it. So I'd actually take advantage of this shift in him and sit down with him and talk about the relationship as a whole, from before to now. If his approach is honest and he has had a change of heart, then he'll welcome the conversation. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Vegeto178 says, yeah, I have, and this is so sweet. I think maybe he's grown up and realized that she's not that bad. Guys kind of go through that. Also, I see it as more of a he wants you type thing, and what I mean by that is that he just wants to spend time with you. It's actually quite common and really sweet. If I were you, I'd utilize this to spend more time with him. As a guy myself, I do get random spurts of love from my family members. And Opie responds, I get that, but it's been going on for weeks and it feels a bit uncanny. Sorry, but I've never experienced this from him. Lol. Any Decision 470 says, maybe it's a setup, maybe not. If he's showing you he knows how to be kind to you, do the exact same thing. Start treating him sweetly and considerately. Be sincere. Let him see what a loving sibling relationship should be like. If it's a long prank, you've gotten to enjoy what a loving sibling relationship can truly be like. But so has he. If he reveals it as a prank, you both lose. If it's for real, you both are blessed. And Comfortable Studio 37 says, I think he's probably just growing up. He likely realized you're both no longer children and you've become a young adult, and he wants to make up for how he's treated you and start a new chapter of siblinghood. Maybe you posted something on social media or accomplished something and it made him feel proud of you, and he wants to be supportive and protective. The community thinks the brother has been struck by growth. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. One of my brother's friends finally cracked and told me. Apparently, my brother has been talking to this girl he really likes, and she asked him what his relationship with his family was like. He told her the truth, that we were never close and mostly sarcastic to each other. She basically told him that's a huge green flag for her, a guy who loves and protects his sister. So this man has been out here trying to change his personality just because he wants to impress a girl. I confronted him nicely and he got super embarrassed and admitted it. He said he wasn't trying to manipulate me or anything. He just realized that he should have been a better brother anyway, and talking to her kind of made him reflect on it. Honestly, don't know whether to be annoyed, flattered, or amused. Maybe all three. But at least now I know I'm not dying, he's not dying, and the world isn't ending. He's still being nice though, so maybe something good came out of this whole thing after all. Well, OP, based on the situation, I'd take it as it doesn't matter how he got there, he got there. Wherever the initial motivation came from, it got him to reflect, and then he made a decision. I'd say that's a win for the both of you. So here's wishing you the best, OP. Thanks so much for sharing and take care. And now let's finish this video with a quick petty revenge. This post is by user Tit4Tat101. I purposefully walked into a woman who wouldn't let me off the elevator. Staying in a hotel for a week for a work thing. There's this woman who I've encountered when attempting to get out of the elevator. She was either with her boyfriend or her husband. Elevator doors open, she's right there and she just zooms in. I have to jump back to avoid being mowed by her. Her partner waits for me to exit. Well, the next day, I'm leaving around at the same time. Elevator's door open and there she is. Without thinking, I'm like, not today. And with the same energy, I power walk out shoulder checking her. I'm shorter than her, so it's more like shoulder chest check. But she stumbles and gives me a dirty look. I just smile and continue on. I saw her one more time in the lobby and just smiled at her in the face of her glare. Nicely done, OP, standing up for the proper etiquette. You let people out before you go inside. That just helps everybody. Thanks, OP, and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out.